So for your exam today, you have a paper, it's 40 points. Make sure you put your full name, first and last name, and then your period, first, second, third, or fourth. That way, in case the paper gets mixed up, I can get it back to the right box and right area. On your exam, you have a grid, okay? The monologue column, where it says 1, 2, and 3, go ahead and leave blank, unless you want to take notes in them. But nothing needs to be entered there unless you want to take notes. The second column is where you will put the acting style. Okay, I listed the acting styles above the grid. Uta Hagen, Stanislavski, or Brecht. In that second column, where it says acting style being used, you only put the name. Okay, I will indicate when it's monologue 1, monologue 2, and monologue 3. Put it right next to the box. So for monologue 1, when I perform it, write which one you think it is, either Uta Hagen, Stanislavski, or Brecht. After that, the last column, the third box, it says describe at least 2 techniques or methods indicating the style being used. So, if it's Uta Hagen, in your opinion, you need to describe why. 2 reasons why it's Uta Hagen, and that comes into your study. Conditioning forces or sense memories. If it's Stanislavski, the 7 questions of character identity. And if it's Brecht, breaking the fourth wall, or Tableau's frozen positions. Make sure you describe them in detail so I know exactly what you're connecting it to. If you need more room, you can use the back of the paper. If you want to take notes during the monologue, you can use the back of the paper as well. Use it however you like. I suggest waiting until the end of the monologue to identify it as Uta, Stanislavski, or Brecht, and then go into it. I'll give you, well, you'll have your time because you're at home. So take your time needed, pause the video, and then write it in, and you should be all set. This is monologue 1. We lack attention, and it makes me sad sometimes. I'm guilty of it, and I'm working really hard to tap into my awareness, which includes each of my senses. Once we plug into life and the tiny blissful moments it has to offer us, it's like our intuition kicks into overdrive. Life's little signs make themselves known quite boldly when we listen more closely to the subtle rhythm of life around us and what it has to offer. I love to be hugged. Touch is crucial to me, and I can tell if someone means their touch or if they're doing it out of obligation. Touch is very intuitive if you pay attention. And ever since I was a little kid, I've collected things that smell good to me. Soaps, colognes, candles. I have a close connection to certain smells that remind me of the outdoors. Sounds are amazing to me. Just a few words can touch deep into my soul, whether they're from a person or simply great lyrics. Sometimes silence is the best sound, because it's never truly silent after all. Food is perhaps the second best taste to a great kiss. Both bring their own delicious taste to the table. Sight is really quite a miracle, and it's what I'm grateful for every day. Some of my favorite moments come from my sight. A mountaintop panorama, seeing a little girl play with her dad in the park, or an older couple just holding hands on a walk. These moments make mine more full. See. So go ahead and pause the video. If you need to, write down what style you thought that was and why you thought. 2 reasons. Okay, monologue 2. Yes, I have tricks in my pocket. I have things up my sleeve. But I am the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. To begin with, I turn back time. I reverse it to that quaint period, the 1930s, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating in a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes, and so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery Braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. Here there were disturbances of laborers, sometimes pretty violent in otherwise very peaceful cities like Chicago, Cleveland, and St. Louis. This is the social background of the play. The play is memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted, it is sentimental, it is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. I am Tom, your narrator for the play. The other characters you will meet are Amanda, my mother, and my sister Laura, and then a gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. He is the most realistic character of the play, being an emissary from a world of reality that we're somehow set apart from. But since I have a poet's weakness for symbols, I do use him as a symbol character as well. There is a fifth character in the play who doesn't appear except for in this larger-than-life-size photograph above the mantel. This is our father who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distances. He gave up his job with the telephone company and skipped the light fantastic out of town. The last we heard of him was on a picture postcard from Mazatlan off the Pacific coast of Mexico, and it contained a message of just 2 words: hello, goodbye, and no return address. I think the rest of the play will explain itself. Scene. So now go ahead and pause if you need to. Write down the style you thought that was delivered in which 2 techniques indicated that style. For this third monologue, imagine that there was someone right here in the chair that I'm addressing. Monologue 3. My son, Matthew, did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces from the age of 13 until the day he died. However, in his all too brief life, he proved that he was a winner. On October 6, 1998, my son tried to show the world that he could win again. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero lost. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died, 50 days before his 22nd birthday. So every time you celebrate Christmas, a birthday, or the 4th of July, remember that Matthew isn't. Every time you wake up in your prison cell, remember that you had the opportunity and the ability to stop your actions that night. You robbed me of something I held very dear and precious, and I will never forgive you for that. Mr. McKinney, I give you life in the memory of one who no longer has it. May you have a long life, and may you thank Matthew every day for it. See. So finalize your 3 selections, finalize the techniques on why you picked that style, and it's due tomorrow. Thank you.